February was a little bit tough. I got really discouraged and gave up on, or not gave up, shelved several projects because I got really frustrated, didn't know what to do, and the whole thing was just a mess. And so one of the purposes of this month's evaluation is to figure out, is there something I need to change to make sewing more enjoyable and something that I want to do rather than this frustrating block? So I think I did figure it out, and I'll let you know that at the end. But let's kind of walk through what happened last month. Hi, today is March 3rd, so it's time to do my end of the month evaluation. So starting with projects completed, I finished an item in my mending pile and shortened some black linen pants that have been in my mending pile since I got them and they were too long. That's it. That's all I finished. Oh my goodness. There's still so much to do on my skill tree, but that's all I got done. What did you get done this month? Did you have a more productive month than I did? I was still sewing though, and I got several unfinished projects. So there are several new skills and things I did well. So let's look at those. Number one, I let go of an unrealistic expectation. The Valentine thing that I wanted to do is going to take a lot longer than anticipated. So I put that aside and didn't put the pressure on myself to do that, which is good. I started a sewing log to see actually how long things take so that I can better plan out my projects. Got my iPad here with my notes. Come on, iPad. There we go. I also rearranged the order I'm planning to do things, kind of like a sewing triage to get the most important things done first. Also thinking about skill building and building my confidence as I go, saving the harder stuff for later. I printed and assembled a PDF pattern in my spare time rather than right when I needed it, so I wasn't quite as stalled when I got that far. And I practiced with some mock-ups, even mock-ups on the actual garment, where like just the collar was the mock-up and the actual rest was the actual fabric. And I got that idea from Lady Rebecca Fashions. I switched to easier projects when I needed a mental break, which I still plan to do. That's a good thing. And I did learn a lot from others, and I've still got that playlist if you want to check it out of things I'm learning. And I finished those black pants. That's been in my mending pile a really long time. I'm very proud of that. How about you? What did you do well this month? So what did I learn? Number one, I can't really work on the floor right now, but maybe down the road. So later on in this, I'll tell you the plan I came up with to really help with that. I also practiced fitting. I got really discouraged because there's more of a learning curve there that I need to work out. We'll get to that. But at least I practiced. That's good. I practiced blind stitch and remembered how to do that. I did my first burn test to test what a fabric was made of, and that was really fun. I've got a video about that coming up. I'm new to sew-in interfacing, but so far I'm really liking how this is working. So I'm learning how to work with that. And included in that is basting something before you sew it, like hand basting before you do that. So that actually worked really well. Also new at collars, and I didn't quite finish by the end of February. I think I finished it yesterday, but my collars are sisters. They're not twins, the 2 points of my collar, but it's okay. We're going to improve as we learn. Main thing I learned was just do it. Don't get in your head about having to be perfect. And it's tricky because I know things like this quote from Maya Angelou, do the best you can until you know better, and when you know better, do better. And I really like that quote. But what's tricky is I know what it should be in my head and I know how it should work in my head, but somehow when I actually do it, it doesn't work the way it works in my head. And that's frustrating. So I have to remember and allow myself to let the first attempts be the best I can do, even if that's not perfect, because I can figure it out as I go. And I've talked about this before, but I have a lot more grace with other people than I have with myself. And so trying to loosen that grip and let myself learn and be messy as I learn and just take pride in what I'm able to do. That's something I'm relearning how to do for myself. Okay, how about you? What have you learned this month? All right, now to the things I'm going to do differently. First, some little things. I need to plan to finish deadline projects like holidays and gifts and things at least a month in advance to give myself a huge cushion. When I took the swatch for the burn test, I took way too much fabric, and it made it very difficult when it came time to actually cut out my pieces to figure out how to do that with the fabric I had left. So I don't need nearly as much fabric to do a burn test. Lesson learned. And I need to allow more time to piece together and cut out PDF patterns. Right now it's taking me 2 hours to assemble some patterns. That's frustrating, but that's the pace I can go, so that's where we're at. Also, I have to be careful when I'm cutting out, especially when I'm tired, because I missed some of these. Cut one, I cut two of when I should cut one, and I missed some of the place on fold. So I had to cut two and seam it together. But because I didn't quite have enough fabric to do it the way I wanted, it's okay. I also got a red knit cap. I have a large head. I always have to get really big hats, like extra large hats. And so when I got this, it sits on the back of my head. And ideally, it's supposed to sit like right here, I think. And on me, it sits like here. And it's too heavy in the back, it falls off. So I put some thick lace on here, but it's not heavy enough to keep it pulled forward. So that didn't work. Probably to be able to use this hat the way I want to, I'll need to learn to knit or crochet, but that brings us to our next question. And it's also learning to knit and crochet is way down on my list. So what about you? What would you do differently next time? So what training tools, etc. would help? Number one, to fix the floor problem, I got a new cutting table. It's just a folding table, 8-foot folding table, but it helps so much. And when I'm done, I can fold it up and get it out of the way, which is also amazing. Also with the fitting, I told you I got really discouraged because it wasn't even close. I mean, I take that back. The back fit great, but the front was not. So for the first time in my life, I'm having to do a full bust adjustment and learn how to do that. I learned to sew when I was a teenager. I did not need that as a teenager or even most of my adult life. So this is new. I also had to research, is there a different way to press gathers? Because when I pressed the seam, it crushed my gathers and it didn't look as good. So I figured out with steam, a lot of steam, I could kind of fix the gathers and make them not quite as crushed and make them look a little nicer. And so I looked up how to do that, and you use steam on the gather part, and then you actually press down on the flatter part. Lesson learned. If you want to know more of the stuff I'm learning, you can check out the Learn With Me playlist. So what tools, training, etc. would help you moving forward based on what you've learned from this last month? So now here's the big one. What will I focus on next? Typically, this is the next month's projects, and I will get to that. Excuse me just a minute. But the main thing I need to think about for next month, for March, I've got to change something. This, the way I'm approaching this project is not working. It's not fun, and this is supposed to be a fun hobby. So I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and the past, I think, not quite a week ago, I came up with what I need to do. Primarily, I need to shift my focus away from that big goal of, away from my big goal. And if you're new here, my big goal, I want to sew me-made wardrobe, sew my own wardrobe that's inspired by 1930s to 1950s, plus a bunch of costumes and historical costumes and all kinds of things. Like, the list never ends, okay? So focusing on finishing the list is not the best way to stay motivated because it's never ending, like any to-do list, okay? And even if I narrow my focus to my level 1 skill tree, which is where I'm focusing now, that's still a lot. That's at least, it could be as many as 2 years worth of work. Okay. If I focus on that, I'm going to get discouraged really fast because at the beginning, building momentum is really tricky. So I need to shift my focus away from how far away I am from that goal, and instead focus on enjoying the process of making things I'm excited to wear. That one little shift has made a huge difference. And so I still have the same goals and the same plan of sewing my own wardrobe and costumes, but I'm focusing just on the next step and smelling the roses along the way. I'm working on my black dress right now. I call it my funeral dress because I'm wearing it to wear to funerals, but it's a little black dress. And when I'm made that shift in focus, I was able to finish the collar into something I was really proud of, and taking pride in the inside finishes I'm learning to do, and really having fun just making the one garment and not worrying about all the other ones I need to make too. So that's been really helpful. It makes the journey more enjoyable, and ironically, slowing down like this has released some hidden pressure that I had in myself to get all this stuff done quickly, and it's motivated me to pick up the pace. Isn't that ironic? So I think that's kind of funny. But I'm enjoying it a lot more now, and I'm getting a lot more sewing done. So hopefully next month we will see a lot more progress. So what do I have planned for next month? Well, as always, I can change my mind, but I'm going to keep working on this wardrobe. Going to finish my little black dress. I should be able to finish that this week, I think. Maybe even the next, well, definitely this week. I have an upcycle project planned for an Easter dress that I'm very excited about. And I have several undergarments that I'm working on, primarily slips and things. If I finish those in time, I might start on next month's project, but I don't want to tell you about that yet. So we'll see. But anyway, I want to know, what projects are you working on and what exciting things are going on for you? If you want to follow my journey, you can feel free to subscribe. See ya.